It's hard to say exactly why you like someone. Maybe it's their goofy smile, maybe it's their razor-sharp wit, or maybe it's simply that they're easy to be around. You just like them, but scientists generally aren't satisfied with answers like that, and they've spent years trying to pinpoint the exact factors that draw one person to another. Below, we've rounded up some of their most intriguing findings. Read on for insights that will cast your current friendships in a new light, and will help you form better relationships faster. View as one-page slides. Flickr comments this strategy is called mirroring, and involves subtly mimicking another person's behavior. When talking to someone, try copying their body language, gestures, and facial expressions. In 1999, New York University researchers documented the chameleon effect, which occurs when people unconsciously mimic each other's behavior. That mimicry facilitates liking. Researchers had 72 men and women work on a task with a partner. The partners who worked for the researchers either mimicked the other participants' behavior or didn't, while researchers videotaped the interactions. At the end of the interaction, the researchers had participants indicate how much they liked their partners. Sure enough, participants were more likely to say that they liked their partner when their partner had been mimicking their behavior. Flickr and media. Princeton University psychologists and their colleagues proposed the stereotype content model, which is a theory that people judge others based on their warmth and competence. According to the model, if you can portray yourself as warm, i.e., non-competitive and friendly, people will feel like they can trust you. If you seem competent, for example, if you have high economic or educational status, they're more inclined to respect you. Harvard psychologist Amy Cuddy says it's important to demonstrate warmth first and then competence, especially in business settings. From an evolutionary perspective, Cuddy writes in her book Presence, it is more crucial to our survival to know whether a person deserves our trust. Flickr. Craig Cochran. People want to be perceived in a way that aligns with their own beliefs about themselves. This phenomenon is described by self-verification theory. We all seek confirmations of our views, positive and negative. For a series of studies at Stanford University and the University of Arizona, participants with positive and negative perceptions of themselves were asked whether they wanted to interact with people who had positive and negative impressions of them. The participants with positive self-views preferred people who thought highly of them, while those with negative self-views preferred critics. This could be because people like to interact with those who provide feedback consistent with their known identity. Other research suggests that when people's beliefs about us line up with our own, our relationship with them flows more smoothly. That's likely because we feel understood, which is an important component of intimacy. Pedro Zimos 7 via Flickr. Self-disclosure may be one of the best relationship-building techniques. In a study led by researchers at the State University of New York at Stony Brook, the California Graduate School of Family Psychology, the University of California, Santa Cruz, and Arizona State University, college students were paired off and told to spend 45 minutes getting to know each other. Experimenters provided some student pairs with a series of questions to ask, which got increasingly deep and personal. For example, one of the intermediate questions was how do you feel about your relationship with your mother? Other pairs were given small talk type questions. For example, one question was what is your favorite holiday? While at the end of the experiment, the students who asked increasingly personal questions reported feeling much closer to each other than students who engaged in small talk. You can try this technique on your own. As you're getting to know someone, for example, you can build up from asking easy questions like the last movie they saw to learning about the people who mean the most to them in life. When you share intimate information with another person, they are more likely to feel closer to you and want to confide in you in the future. Flickr. University of Exeter. Harvard researchers recently discovered that talking about yourself may be inherently rewarding, the same way that food, money, and sex are. In one study, the researchers had participants sit in an fMRI machine and respond to questions about either their own opinions or someone else's. Participants had been asked to bring a friend or family member to the experiment, who was sitting outside the fMRI machine. In some cases, participants were told that their responses would be shared with a friend or relative. In other cases, their responses would be kept private. Results showed that the brain regions associated with motivation and reward were most active when participants were sharing information publicly, but also were active when they were talking about themselves without anyone listening. In other words, letting someone share a story or two about their life instead of blabbing about yours could give them more positive memories of your interaction. Flick. University of Exeter psychologists have known for a while about a phenomenon called reciprocity of liking. When we think someone likes us, we tend to like them as well. In one 1959 study published in Human Relations, for example, participants were told that certain members of a group discussion would probably like them. These group members were chosen randomly by the experimenter. After the discussion, participants indicated that the people they liked best were the ones who supposedly liked them. More recently, researchers at the University of Waterloo and the University of Manitoba found that when we expect people to accept us, we act warmer toward them, thereby increasing the chances that they really will like us. So even if you're not sure how a person you're interacting with feels about you, act like you like them and they'll probably like you back. This is an update of an article originally written by Maggie Zhang.